Hi everyone, and welcome to the inaugural video of DanTech USA. Today we're going to talk about something special. Say you're at a garage sale, or you go to an expo or some shit, and you come across the original Xbox. And you're like, shit, what am I going to do with a 16-year-old console? Well, there's a few things you can do. Of course, obviously you can try to hawk it yourself, even if you want to buy it. But, I'd say buy it. The collectability of these things is actually growing. But this video is going to feature something you can do to this. Basically, you can turn this Xbox into this Xbox. This one here is modded. And I highly recommend that you mod whatever Xbox you get. Because this video is going to show all the things you can do with a modified Xbox. Let's take a look.
Hello, and welcome to the Microsoft dashboard. Of course, if you've ever played an original Xbox, this is what you get. But please note, this is not a video showing how to mod the Xbox. This is a video showing what a modded Xbox can do. There are plenty of other videos on YouTube. So let's go to the actual dashboard of the Xbox, and we will proceed. And while it's loading, there are tons of operating systems you can use. Tons. I chose Evox. Evolution X. Why? Well, frankly, it's the most utilitarian, in my opinion. I don't want a fancy looking one. There's Unleash X, there's Avalanche, there's Xbox Media Center, which we'll get to in a second. But this is what you get. First thing you see when you boot up a modified Xbox. So we're going to do a brief overview of all of these menus, and then we'll do in-depth on some of them. Because we're definitely going to have to set the time, because the time is off. So obviously play games from hard drive. Okay, let's talk Saul Goodman for a second. I own all these games on disc. And according to the DMCA, you're allowed one electronic copy. So, this is not illegal. Now, selling this on YouTube with the games installed is illegal. There's the difference. Anyway, that's the games. That one's blank. That one's blank. Emulators. Okay. FCE. For the longest time, I didn't know what the hell that was. But it's the Famicom emulator. It's the Nintendo emulator. Killer Instinct Arcade emulator. Genesis emulator. PlayStation 1 emulator. And I have two Super Nintendo emulators, because some games run better on one than the other. Again, we'll get into them in a second. That one's fairly obvious. DVD movie player, don't need the dongle. Xbox Media Center, we'll get into in a second. Applications. I don't know what this is. That one's pretty explanatory. That's how you actually put games on the hard drive. Get into that one later. File Explorer, I don't know what that one is. I don't know what that one is. That's your internet browser. And it kind of works. I'll get into that one in a second. MediaX menu. I think that's another dashboard, but I'm not sure. FTP client. We'll definitely get into that one. Xbox Watch. How you set the fucking time. And the commander. Woo. Alright, that's that shit. Dashboard, easy. Take it to the dashboard. System configuration. Yeah, it's just your settings. And then power off and shut down. Or reboot and shut down. And you can change skins. I have a few. I got Sexy Lady 1, Sexy Lady 2, Stargate SG-1. I was a fan. Shut the fuck up. That's how I feel almost all the time. And a couple game ones. Star Fox Assault. Eternal Darkness, Halo, and a custom one. I like dragons. I like turtles. Anyway, that is the overview of ebooks. So now we're going to go a little more in depth. And welcome to the emulator section of the Xbox overview. Anyway, this is FCE Ultra X. Probably my most used emulator. I have about 700 NES games. $700. And it is what it is. It's an emulator for the Nintendo. With fast forward, you can save and load the states. You can do configuration. Let's see. Ooh, 10 again. This one's on license. And obviously, I can't drive while speeding. Oh god, this is terrible. Okay, the angry video game nerd would say this game sucks, and I agree with him. Anyway, that is your fucking NES emulator. And this is the Killer Instinct emulator. The arcade versions of KI1 and KI2. This took me, I kid you not, about 5 years to find.
Killer Instinct.
It's essentially the arcade version of the game.
Spinal. Ready.
And that's how you get out of it. An emulator I really don't use that much. Oh god, I forgot to turn on the music. Is the fucking Genesis emulator. I don't have that many games for it. But the one I have that I really like, I have a Sega CD game. Terminator for the Sega CD. And for some reason it didn't start from the beginning, but whatever. This is basically an overview of this. I rarely use this one. Got a few other games for it, but not very many. Got Jurassic Park. That gives me every time. Anyway, that is the Genesis emulator. This emulator is for the PlayStation 1. Boy, let me tell you a story on how to get a game installed on here. You have to burn a PlayStation 1 disc to a bin file, which no burner today can do it. I had to use Nero 6 on an old ass Windows XP computer, and it's such a pain in the goddamn ass. It's not even worth it. You want a PS1 emulator? Buy a PS3 or a PSP. This is such a pain in the ass. But at the same time, I got Mortal Kombat Trilogy on the Xbox. And if there's ever a game you want on the Xbox, it's a game as deep as this one. Because there is a lot of shit you can do in this game. And it's arcade quality graphics. It's as hard as the arcade version. But this is the motherfucking trilogy on the Xbox. And that's it for the PlayStation emulator. It's really nothing special. And for time purposes, this is the last emulator I'm showing. I'm not going to show the other Super Nintendo emulator because that is redundant. This is obviously the Super Nintendo emulator. It works really well. I'll just pick a random game here. Gets me every time. 16-bit. Works really well. Some games do not work on this particular emulator. That's why I have the other one. But yeah. This is the Super Nintendo emulator. There's really not much else to say. But you're probably wondering how I keep getting out of this. Well, it's usually an exit to menu or some shit. And this here is probably the reason to mod your Xbox alone. And you can actually change your setting files in your Xbox so it starts up with this program right away. This is the Xbox Media Center, and good God, it kicks ass. I mean, 10 years ago you could check the weather. You can't anymore. 10 years ago you could stream Shoutcast Top 500. Can't anymore. What it can do, however, if you have a lot of video files, wrong drive, you can watch a lot of shit. And for copyright reasons, I can't show any of this, except for maybe the nerd. So yeah, I'll just pick one.
It's the Atari.
And it's good quality. It ain't half bad.
Look at how
You can do that, which I like.
ginormous. And why is there a video on it? Is this a video game
You can
console
change the
or
size
fucking
like you can on the PS3
Even the AC
with the
adapter
fucking Y button.
weighs 1 million tons.
Volume up and down with the left stick or the right stick.
Son of a bitch.
Let's see. Pictures, obviously. If you have burned soundtracks, you can listen to them. Again, copyright reasons, I can't play it. But this is the reason. Or if you just want to browse your frickin' Xbox files. C drive is basically where the dashboard sits. E drive is where your save files are. F drive is where my games are loaded. G drive is where my media is, because it's freaking huge. Ah, crap, it used to be away. There we go. Calculate size of media. Bam. Media is 240 gigs. Oh my god, I can't read. 214 gigabytes. In my game folder. Should be 100 gigs. Let's see what it says. Oh dear God, I shouldn't have done this. Basically, the Xbox had the processing power of an old gateway from 1999. So I shouldn't have done this. This is gonna take a while. Do 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 do. Do 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 boom boom. I also have too many damn games. Luckily, I can say screw it and back up because that's gonna take fucking forever. Anyway, that is the Xbox Media Center. Now let's move on to something. All right. Now, as promised, during the Media Center section, I'm going to show you how to set the time of the Xbox. Now, if you have internet and have the Xbox connected to an Ethernet cable, you'll see an IP address. It's right under Halo 2, in case you're wondering. Make sure that is there or this won't work. You go to Xbox Watch, and A to synchronize. It'll keep doing that. Eventually you'll get through though. There you go. is synchronized. And then push B to store. Piece of cake, right? That only took 40 seconds. That is how you do that. That one's simple. That's why I decided just to do it right now. But moving on to... This one's very funny. We're going to move on to the internet browser. And yes, the Xbox has one. It's also under applications. This is probably the funniest one because of the way you have to find. It switched resolutions, so I had to cut. But this is your web browser for the Xbox. Let's see if I remember. I don't even remember if I know how to do this. All right, where is the URL thingy? Oh, there we go. Oh god. Okay. This is a nightmare. This is why you want to have a USB front panel and have the keyboard. Let's see if I remember how to. I can't remember how to do this. Nope. It's a way to bring up the buttons. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now. Oh god. How do I do that? Okay. You gotta bring up this. This is not fun. To go to a website, you gotta move the joystick to these quadrants, and then use the buttons for the letters. This is not easy. For example, www. I don't even know where dot is. Where is dot? Shit, where's dot? Okay. Bear with me, it's been a while. Oh, dash. Ah. I go backspace. Oh, B's backspace. Oh, Y's dot. Okay, there we go. Alright, there we go. Dot. Oh. Oh, I used to use my website, but I shut it down. I'll just do Google. Because why not? G. Fuck, I had the wrong one. Backspace. Google. O. G. Was L. And E. There we go. .com. Alright. Now. Oh no. There's Google. As viewed by the Xbox. So. Here we go again. See, what can I look up? Oh, since we're doing a video on the Xbox. We'll just do a video. We'll just look up and see if it'll pull anything up on the Xbox. But I am a retard and I can't type for crap. X. Alright. Do that. Google search. Alright. And since this is an old school console, that is what it looks like. That is the web browser. Welcome to the second to last program I'm going to show you on a modified Xbox. And just like the internet browser, this one's kind of tricky too. If you have a home server, you can actually access it with an Xbox if you know the IP address. The start button takes you here, and you hit connect to server. We'll just pretend that's there, but I'm just making one myself. Now, like the internet browser app, this one is, oh god, it's bad too. The left joystick moves this, and then you hit up and B, or sorry, let's see, if I remember how to fucking do this right. Okay, yeah. The left trigger, or sorry, the right trigger does the letter or whatever. X backspaces. So you want the numbers. So you want down and then the trigger. For 1, 9, 2, shit, B's dot, say 168, dot, your mama. Where the hell is 0? Left thumb is 0, you click it in. And, oh, we'll just do shit. My old server used to be 50. I don't have it anymore, so we need B for dot. 50. And again, I need a 0. So, bam. And then you hit OK. Server port's always 21, so OK. Server name, Dan sucks dicks in hell. I'm not going to call it that, but what's it called, Dan? OK. Username, blah, blah, blah. Password, blah, blah, blah. There it is. That is the server app. And after this, I will show you the final app of installing a game onto the hard drive. Hello everyone, and welcome to the final application I'm going to just demonstrate. This, my friends, is how you put games on the Xbox. And as you can tell, there are 37. Now, I own all 37 of these games, and what I did was make backups, which is legal. Now, if I were to sell this unit on eBay or private sale, I actually would have to get rid of all these. But it's pretty simple. X to delete, A to play, and if you put a disc in the tray, which I'm doing right now, close said tray. Give it a second to read. It checks the disc size. Mortal Kombat Deception Collector's Edition, 2.2 something gigs. You would push A to install it. Now, I am not going to install this because it would take forever. And yeah, but that's it. That's pretty much all the apps on the Xbox.
And that, my friends, is what you can do with a modified Xbox. Now, there's a way to soft mod too if you don't want to go through the hassle of hardware mods. There are great resources on the internet to teach you how to do each. However, if you have any questions, put them in the description below and I will answer them for you. Like I said, it's not hard to mod it. But the parts to mod an Xbox, the mod chips are getting rarer. The solderless adapters are getting rarer to find. The Executor 3 chip, which is in that Xbox, is going for like $200 on eBay. So keep that in mind. But all you need is Splinter Cell and a certain piece of software if you want a soft mod. But that's its own can of worms, because it's really fun upgrading a hard drive using soft mod only. You need an old Windows XP computer with a parallel port and an IDE cable slot on the motherboard. It's really tricky. Anyway, thank you all for watching my inaugural video. This is Dan Tech USA signing out.